Excel comes with a collection of database functions. Database functions include DSUM, DAVERAGE, DCOUNT, DMAX and DMIN. These particular functions are applied to a database and they use a criteria to sum just certain records in a list. This saves us having to extract those records we want to sum or having to filter those records we want to sum. For example, what I'd like to do is insert a new sheet, so I'm going to hit the Insert Worksheet button. I'm then going to name that sheet Target Functions. I'm then going to create a criteria, and I'm actually going to use one of the criteria we made earlier. Back in the Advanced sheet, we created a criteria starting in J1. I'm going to take a copy of this information and paste it into my Target Functions sheet. I'm then going to name that range Crit8 and press Enter. What I'd like to do now is actually sum certain records in a list based on this criteria. So for example, I'm going to click in the cell E7. This is where I'd like my answer to show. So first of all, I'll explain what the answer is going to be showing. So I'll type sum of actual values. I'll then widen this column and I'll put a function in E7. In E7 I'll put equals DSUM, open bracket. At this point Excel is asking for the name of the database. If I press the function key F3, I can tell it the name of the database is Target List. And then comma. Excel then would like to know what is the field or column heading that I would like to sum. I'll go back to the sheet called Targets and I'll click the column heading Actual in H1 and then comma. At this point Excel would like to know what is the name of the criteria that defines those records in this list that you would like to sum the actual values of. So I'll press the function key F3 and I'll choose Crit8 and OK. My function is now complete, so I'll press Enter. The sum of the records in the Target List database that match the criteria in Crit8 is 62,250. I could then continue to work out the average, the max, the min and the count. I'll type in my label first, and in E8 I'll enter my function, equals DAVERAGE, open bracket. I'll press the function key F3 and tell it my database is called Target List. I'll press comma, and then I'll choose the field or the column heading that I want to average. So I'll go back to the sheet Targets, and I'll click the column heading Actual in H1, comma. Now it wants to know what's the name of my criteria, so I'll press F3 and choose Crit8 and Enter. The average actual values in the list called Target List that match this criteria Crit8 is 1,596.154. I'm now going to continue to work out the other values. F3, my list is called Target List, comma, my field or column heading is the heading Actual, comma, and my criteria is Crit8. Enter. I'd now like to find the minimum value in my database called Target List, so I'll press F3, choose Target List, comma, the field is in the Targets sheet and the field is Actual in H1, comma, my criteria is Crit8. And lastly, I wish to count the number of records in the list called Target List that match criteria 8. And those are 5 of the database functions that come with Excel. As the data changes in my list called target list, it will continually update these functions automatically to tell me the sum, the average, the max, the min, and the number of records that match this criteria in that list.